for someone who's in college or is an investment banking analyst or junior equity research associate and wants to get to the buy side, what are some advice you'd give them both to break in and then B, hit the ground running and really be a great analyst?
The biggest thing is getting at bats. I don't think anyone's a good analyst their first year to 18 months. To answer the last part of the question, just get at bats pitching, like asking people for feedback. And people are very open. If you send 100 people your idea on something that maybe they own in their 13F, I'm sure you'll get a few, if not a few, maybe 10 responses, and people will be willing to talk. Just get at bats and try to talk to people and people in the seat to understand the line of questioning they ask, what they're focused on, especially if they own the name. Most people aren't going to have a massive ego talking to a college kid and try to show you all they know on it. They're going to try to guide you through it. But the biggest thing, and I think this is more I'm very thankful I came about before the ChatGPT era of summary and going through this data. But if it's really a name, within your coverage that you're going to focus on, start with the primary docs and go religiously, through the last few 10Ks, maybe the S1, go through the last, maybe 5 Q4 calls and the last 8 quarterly conference calls. Get an idea of, the business. How do they talk about the business over time? What questions are people answering? What's that narrative? Go through the conference transcripts of how they talk, on kind of a broader basis to a wider audience on these things. Like really focus on those primary documents, then go to some of the secondary, documents like sell-side research, maybe some, primers on, that subsector, going into the competitor, things like that, and really writing down, hey, what are the the few key drivers of this business? What are the 3 things that really metrics that matter? How they think about the business? Where's growth going to come from? Like, do I have a view on just the overall industry growth, subsector growth? This company specifically, what really matters? What are the big questions that like we need to answer for this? Not for this to be like a good investment, but like for this to be, is this a good company? Like, what do I have to answer? Like, what are the biggest risks to them, the way they run the business today? Like, what are the biggest risks in their like own planning for the next 5 years?